I will sing Om Kali Om Mata. It's on page 96 in the songbook if you happen to have one. Om Kali Om Mata.
Welcome to Satsang. So I find myself prefacing a lot of my sentences with, during this time, the COVID time, this time of not knowing what's going to happen, the time of the unknown. And so I wanted to share with you a video from Swami Radhananda. We titled it, based on one of the questions that she asks in this video, we titled it, "What do we do with the time that we have?" It's one of the videos where Swami Radhananda is very pensive as she's talking. So she's kind of talking quietly and profoundly. I felt this gravity just overcoming my whole self. And I thought that would be a good thing for all of us to reflect on during this time, is the serious things, the things that are serious to us, and asking those serious questions. And she talks about how precious this birth is, and how privileged we are for things to have come together so that we can actually gather here and be the best we can, wanting a higher consciousness to be in the front of our minds. And she talks about the natural beauty. It seems like this time has brought about natural beauty being even more beautiful than usual. And I think I say this just about every year. And also, I think it still is more beautiful this year. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and she thought nature was louder than usual. I totally agreed with her, because it seems like everything is speaking more, so I can understand more what it's saying, whatever the trees and the birds and the butterflies, like everything is just more emphasized. And it could be because we've stopped for a little while, at least in some places. Whenever I see nature now, it's a reminder that I am in this privileged place of beauty and peace. And how do I give back for what I have, for what I've been given? So we're going to chant, and as we chant, I thought everyone could be thinking about, all the things that you are privileged to have during this time, which of course many people don't have, and what it is that you have been given and what you would like to give back.
just having been away from the ashram, going out and then coming back, just reinforces for me the responsibility we have, because it's so precious. And what we do with our time and our energy is really needs to be examined carefully, because you can really get caught up in time. Get caught up in using it all up. And you have to know why you're doing it. Like every day, what do we do with the time that we have? Where do we put it? And I just saw a lot of people really intensely sort of sucked into their work and their travel and their money and their place, and it just seemed like what a gift to have this kind of time, to be here in this kind of place where the focus and the discipline is here, because it's been here for so long. 40 years of people doing spiritual practice. And it really does make a difference, because you benefit just by being here. And then if you do some of your own practice, you have all of that behind you. So the discipline to do it here, it seems like a gift. It really is a gift of time and the space to do it and the support to do it. It really takes a lot of effort to find the same kind of people, like to have the molecules come together and form a group that will support you in the way you need it to be supported. In that kind of gentle light. It's just so needed when the words and the aggression are out there, as if that's going to solve the problems of our own personal lives, of the world. And it's never, ever solved the war yet. And I don't know how many wars are going on at this very minute, and how many people are dying, and how many people are planning to do it. It just seems like we have to strengthen the light and bring it forward. And to take the time to really go into depth with what we've been given. Swami Radha explains it as like each sort of stage of our life and each event in our life could be an initiation into that understanding. So to take that light and take the time to bring understanding to the events of your day, to the time you spend. Where do you spend it? Where's your mind? And to recognize that the follow through, that the change that happens when you bring the understanding of the light to yourself. Like, what is the light of understanding? What is the light of compassion? Is it all of those negative stories or negative ideas that you have, that resistance, the procrastination, the jealousy, the ambition, whatever those obstacles are, there's your obstacles on the path, and there's your victories, and what you've brought already to the path. But sometimes if you work on those, every time when you work on those obstacles, you change that energy into something that you can use for the benefit of being on the path. So like, it's all the same neutral energy. But if you hold on to something that happened in your past, then you're bringing that energy right into the present, instead of saying, this is what is. This is what is, and I bring light to this in this very moment, and use my time there. Use my mind. Use the light. And it's just very easy to forget if there's lots of things happening in your life, if there's lots of things happening in the life around you. Like to bring it back to center, to the light within and the light within other people. And to even to know that it really works. So we know war and aggression and hatred don't work. So how does the light work? You want to find out. You want to spend some time finding out. Because otherwise, it's like getting stuck in something that you apparently have no control over, but you do. It really is true that we have that kind of control. We may not be able to control what happens to us, but we can actually change. But that means that that openness to the light. And with that openness to the light, of course, it shines. It shines what's there. But it doesn't mean that you're bad or it's bad. It just means that you have to know how to use that energy that you've been given. And make use of the discipline. Because the comfort sort of like is that draw to be comfortable. Like we're really well fed here. We all have really nice places to live. We have great people to live with. We have wonderful work to do. It can make us comfortable in that we just don't take that extra effort, that extra step. And make use of what we've already been given. Swami Radha has an image like if you were going to build a house or a cathedral and you didn't have enough money, and so you went to someone and they gave you enough money, they loaned you the money to build this house or cathedral or temple, but your own temple, and then how do you pay it back? How do you use that money? How do you use that time? What kind of temple do you want to build? What is your cathedral of consciousness? So when someone brings you the teachings, like how do you respond? Where is the resistance? Where is the openness? And not one of us who looks back over our years of being in spiritual work can say there's no resistance and we just loved every minute and just took it to heart what was there. It's always, even though your heart is completely dedicated and affirmed, there's another part of you that's very human that will act out against the very thing that you want. And so when you take an initiation or you step onto the path, what you're saying to both parts, the spiritual part and the human part, is to the human part you say, come along and help me, but I'm going this way. I'm going to make use of my initiation. I'm going to make use of my teachings. I will even change my name to remind me. But I want that. And you have to almost treat your human part as if it's like your helper, your servant. Because to make you whole and really human, you have to have both parts. The spiritual and human. Bringing them together to build something that you want to build in this world. So the discipline becomes the disciple, the person who's willing to take the teacher's teaching in, to give to others, because there's no way you can really pay back the debt you've been loaned you have to give it to someone else. You have to keep giving and giving. And I think to think of all the people who've, thinking right back from the moment you were born and even before, all the people who've helped you come to this place in your life where you have the understanding of the teachings. And they're very simple. But anybody who comes for 2 hours, for a weekend, for a longer time, they get exactly what they need. Because if you surrender to the teachings, you do get what you deserve. And Shivananda said, like if people weren't, Gurudev Shivananda said, if they weren't grateful for what they've been given, they wouldn't get any more. So the gratitude, the surrender, the discipline, and how you use that time and energy you're given. In a world that's as crazy as it is now, it's good to think exactly where you want to be, what you want to be doing, and how you want to do it. So we have many blessings. We can pass them on. Namah Shivaya.
We want to treat our human part as a kind of a servant or a helper to our spiritual part, with a renewed promise from our human part to come along and help that spiritual part. Pass your hands over close to your senses, all your 5 senses, over your mind, and ask that you can take in this time with gratitude, all the gifts from this time. Take them in with gratitude. And then bring your hands together, feeling that sense of touch, and we'll repeat the Divine Mother prayer together. O Divine Mother, may all my speech and idle talk be mantra, all actions of my hands be mudra, all eating and drinking be the offering of oblations unto thee, all lying down prostrations before thee. May all pleasures be as dedicating my entire self unto thee. May everything I do be taken as thy worship. Namaste.
Hare